Hello and welcome, moms to be, to month 5 of the prenatal series here with me, Christine from Freedom Physio. Thank you so much for joining in on this journey and welcome to the 5th month. So you're well into your second trimester, kind of halfway through, which is awesome, just past halfway, which is really exciting. So congratulations. We're going to have quite a fun workout today. So ideally you'd have a TheraBand, one of these stretchy bands. If you don't, you could always use an old pair of tights that you have at home if you don't have a stretchy band, and one or two yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, I've used upside down pots, from the kitchen, or even a Tupperware. Even a cushion will be fine, a nice big cushion, or even 2 cushions. Okay, so if you could grab those things, that would be amazing. And then I'll meet you back here on the mat. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do together, guys, is we're going to take our blocks or whatever we're going to be kneeling on, and ideally you get yourself into this kind of position. Now, I've got pretty flexible hips and knees, so I actually am able to get my bum onto this. If you can't, you flip it up and then you sit back so that you really can just let your weight drop and relax into it. If your knees really hate this or you struggle in this position in general, you can always just take a cross-legged seated position or sit with your legs outstretched in front of you with your back against the wall. Okay, great. So pick any one of these positions. Okay, so we're going to practice placing one hand on our tummy and one hand on our sternum. Let your shoulders relax. Imagine your collarbones were smiling forward. They're really nice and open. And your head is literally just floating on top of your body. Your ribs are closed down, but you're lifting your ribs away from your tummy. And you're lifting your tummy out of your pelvic floor. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to take a few big deep breaths in, focusing on the lungs expanding outwards. So getting a really nice lateral expansion and breathing nice and low. You don't have to force it. You don't have to really put pressure because there's a lot of pressure coming forward onto the belly anyway. So think about lateral expansion. So opening out to the side. So you're breathing out to the side, getting the lateral expansion. Literally just creates more space. So we're creating space 360 degrees, not just forwards. Yeah. Taking a few moments to just feel how your body feels today, to check in. Take a few moments to just physically arrive on your mat. I'm just connecting to you and your baby. Taking 3 more breaths in here. So if you feel like you need to take today really chilled, then take it easy. But if you've got the energy and you want to go for it, last breath in, then you go for it. And exhale. Great job. Okay, guys, we're going to get rid of the blocks and we're going to come up into standing. Just place them off to one side and we're going to warm up the spine. Okay, so we're going to give the spine a warm up in all 3 planes. So we're going to come into flexion and extension, side bending, and a little bit of rotation. And then we'll take it into some strength-based exercises. Okay, so we're going to stand sideways on. Nice. And then I want you to imagine your nose is pushing a cart down a roller coaster. So you're going down the steepest slope of a roller coaster, and then you're going back up the same slope. So it's the same slope. I mean, you can play around with, how deep you go forwards and how high you want to go up. But you're thinking of articulating the spine. So from the back of the neck, from the head to the mid back, to the lower back, to the sacrum, and then back up the way. Kind of like a dolphin, or you could imagine a dolphin floating through the waves, jumping out of a wave, and then diving back down into the wave. Last 2. And 1. Well done. Good job. So obviously your center of gravity is going to be slightly different. So you just want to adjust your body to make sure that when you come into flexion, or if you're coming into any hinge movements, you might find that you need to ever so slightly elongate through the lower back, so you're not letting the lower back arch too much. So that might mean a little bit of tummy muscle activation. Okay. All right. So from here, we're going to come into standing again. Nice and soft through the knees. You're going to take your left arm, slide it down your left thigh, gently reach it up and side bend. Now, I don't want you guys to go to your maximum side bend depth. Same side each time for now. So you might be able to go further, but I want you to stop yourself in terms of the stretch, and I want you to focus on coming out of it. How strong do you feel pulling yourself out of that position? Yeah, so think about the muscles. Let's go for 2 more. So even if you could go further, you're just going to stick with where you feel nicely challenged. All right, other side, and slide it down. Feel the stretch. Keep a soft bend in the knees, and then reach. Very nice and fluid, up and over and back. Yeah, side bend like you're in a toaster. Reach, up, side bend, and back. And remember, we're creating that space on the side of your body to start to allow for expansion to happen in that area. Good. Last 2. I mean, you could do less if you feel like it's too much to do this many. And you can obviously move slower. Last 1. And bring it back. Very nice. Now for rotation, we don't want to be rotating too far. Okay. Some Pilates studios would suggest against rotating the spine during pregnancy. It's a very conservative view, potentially, depending on what's going on in the individual. But we're going to do a little bit of gentle rotation, but it's a good idea just to always listen. Don't rotate too far, and just breathe into it. Don't force into anything. Okay. All right. So from here, your pelvis is pointing forward. We're going to lift up. So remember the idea of like lifting belly away from pelvic floor, lifting the ribs up off the belly, collarbones smiling, chest and ribs are down, and the head is just floating on the top of your body. Good. We're keeping the ribs closed, so we're not going to let the ribs flare. Awesome. From here, pretty simple. We're just going to rotate over to the right hand side. Keep your collarbones relaxed. If you wanted to, you could take your right hand and hook it in over your left hip and think about drawing the elbow down towards the floor. Lengthen up to the crown of your head on an inhale. And exhale, if you want to go deeper, think about going deeper from the rib cage, not pulling through the shoulder. And then slowly come back to center. As you come back to center, lengthen and shake it out. Well done. Other side. So pelvis stays forwards, lengthen, lengthen, close, and rotate. You can always take your left hand in this the little at your waist there, and use that for a little bit of traction. And then think about your left elbow drawing down towards the floor. Chest stays open. Breathing laterally, filling the sides of the body with breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little deeper. And then slowly come out of it. As you come out of it, get even taller. Shake it out. Well done. Great job. So from here, we're going to come into a few exercises in standing, mostly strength-based exercises. Okay, so we're going to grab a hold of our band. Okay, you're going to hold on to it with your left hand and stand on it with your right foot. Now, when you stand on it, just make sure you're standing on it well enough so that that doesn't happen. It might happen. I mean, like, that's the worst that can happen, really. Okay, so just make sure you're standing on it firmly with that right foot. My left foot is at a slight diagonal behind me. Okay, so I'm not parallel through the feet. I'm slightly stepped back through my back leg, so through my left foot. From here, I'm holding on with my left hand. I'm going to rotate slightly towards my right knee. My right knee is over my second toe. I know, gets it up. Good job. All right, and then we're going to pull elbow to the ceiling and then slowly unravel. Okay, so we're just going to draw the elbow up towards the ceiling and then take it back down. Okay, we're going to go for 10 in total. I'm managing the tension on the band. Okay, you want less tension, you hold on a little bit looser. You want more tension, you hold higher up the band. Good. So we want to think about strengthening the muscles between the shoulders. So we're trying to get rhomboids, middle traps, muscles that really help to draw the shoulder blades towards the spine. Last 3, they tend to get quite weak, especially if we're sitting at a desk. Last one. Good. Elbow draws back and then towards the floor. Okay. Great job. Let's go straight over to the other side. So put the band underneath the left foot, step the right foot back at a slight diagonal. Okay. So you're just not parallel, you're at a slight diagonal. Okay. All right. Nice and athletic, bent through the left knee and grab a hold of some tension in the band. I'm going to rotate away, draw my shoulder blade down, and then draw my elbow back and down. So my elbow is not going up that way, it's going that way. Okay? And then come back. As you rotate, watch that your knee doesn't cave into the band. Okay? So think about your knee staying over that second toe and the weight in your front foot is on a tripod. So on the heel, on the pinky toe edge, and on the big toe edge. Last 3. One side might be a little bit more tricky than the other. 2. And last 1. And then slowly take it back. Well done. You should have a nice kind of glow starting to happen amongst the shoulder blades. Awesome. So we're going to put the band down for a second and we're going to take the focus to the lower body. Then we'll come back to the upper body again. Okay. So simple squats. We're not going to turn our feet out too much. And I don't want you guys to go too low. Okay. So just don't worry about getting crazy low. You might like to turn the toes out a little bit. Knees go over the second toe. Bum goes back. Chest stays up. And then you're going to press down into the heels, bring yourself back up, okay? You might feel the need to adjust your feet as you squat. But again, just because you can get lower doesn't mean you should. And I want you to really feel that you're not dropping into the squat, but you're slowly coming down and you're slowly coming up, okay? a lot of the time, I think we kind of forget about the lowering part of the movement, and then we just focus on coming back up, almost as if the lowering is like a rest phase, but it's not. Yeah. So as you come down, your sitting bones get nice and wide. As you come up, you're pressing the floor away. Let's go for about 3. And lift. And 2. And lift. And 1. And up. Great job. Shake it out. So nice and slow, nice and focused. Well done. Grab a hold of your band. Shoulders roll back and down. Elbows glue into the sides of your body. Imagine you had a €100 note under each elbow and you wanted to hold on to it. Okay? So feet point forward, knees are bent, pelvis points forward, ribs stay closed. Lengthen. Make sure you're not rounding into the lower back here. So tailbone is dropping to the floor. Nice. Okay, from here, inhale. Exhale, you're going to pull the band apart. Feel the collarbones grow wider. Think about the shoulder blades drawing towards one another. Remember those rhomboids we just worked into. Use them to squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine and then slowly come back. That's 1. And 2. Bringing it back. So think about this one in terms of the breath. Still breathing down into the belly. And still breathing laterally. Let's go for 4 more. My breathing might sound a bit heavy in the microphone. I apologize. 2. And last 1. And bring it back. Well done. Shake it out. Good job. Okay, now depending on whether or not, you may have hyperflexibility and your doctor suggested not to stand in these kinds of deep split stances, then you could stay in a squat position for the next bit. But if you feel comfortable coming into a lunge, please don't go too deep into the lunge because you can imagine that it puts a lot of pressure on the pelvic floor. Or it decreases the pressure. Increases it actually. So from here, you're keeping your left foot out in front. Okay, right foot is back behind. All right. And front leg, the knee is over the second toe. Okay. All right. Knee is over the ankle, in line with the second toe. From here, grab a hold of your TheraBand and you're going to hinge forward, okay? Now, just with a single arm, you're going to pull the elbow bends back. You can see my elbow behind my back there. And then I'm going to try and straighten up my arm. And I'm going to bring the hand back and lower it down. Now, don't go too heavy on this because when you pull up and extend the arm, I don't want your pelvis to move, okay? So as you pull, you stay stable through your trunk. And if you want to, you can pop a hand around your belly at the front just to feel the support, to feel almost like a barrier so you don't end up dumping forward. So staying relatively upright. Let's go for 2 more. So remember which side you're on. Last time. And release. Good. Now, big step forward through the back foot. Shake it out. Shake it out. Other side. Let's pop the band over onto the other foot. Get into your lunge position or your squat. Okay. From here down, you're not hinging too far down. You're going to pull the elbow back. Okay, and then keeping the pelvis steady, try and straighten out the arm, bend, and release. Now, if this gets too necky, keep the elbow lower, okay? The higher you go up back there, the more you're going to get the upper trap fibers, the muscles that go into the neck. So think about shoulder blade drawing towards the spine and then extend. Last 2. And 1. Well done. Big step forward, shake it out. That can be quite a big stretch for the biceps at the front of the arm, so you might feel quite active at the front. Okay. All right. Let's forget about the band for a second. Coming down onto all fours. Okay. So hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. All right. From here, guys, let's just try and find our neutral spine. Okay, so because if you're feeling the weight in your tummy, you might think about lengthening your tailbone a little bit more towards the wall behind you, just to elongate the lower back. And then think about the back of the neck being long, chin being tucked, and the crown of your head lengthening towards the wall in front of you. All right, just take a few moments here, breathing laterally into the lungs. Feeling that lateral expansion. Pressing the floor away a little bit more. All right, now feel where your spine is between your 2 shoulders. And then you're going to see if you can keep yourself super centered as you stretch one leg out long. Let's take the left leg back. And you're going to lift it up. Lengthen even more through the crown of the head. And just feel for any tipping over onto that right side of the kneecap. Feel yourself centered on those limbs. And then you're going to lift and lower. Okay? So focusing on that stability, focusing on the length in the lower back, the openness at the front of the left hip, pulsing up and down. You could choose a flexed or a pointed foot. I've just changed to a flexed foot. So you can choose going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Try and keep the leg lifted. Bend into the knee. And you're going to find your glute and you're going to pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. From here, you're going to bring that knee to the ground. Feel that weight distribute, and then stretch the opposite leg out long. Push the floor away, lengthen the lower back, and then lift and lower. So thinking about the lower back being long and open. You don't want to visualize it like a hole in the ground. Think about it as being lengthened. Keep lifting and lowering. Going for 6, 5. Think about big toe spiraling up towards the sky. Inner thigh of the right leg lifting towards the sky. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, bending the knee, flexing through the foot, and find the glute. Pulse up. 10, 9. Thinking about the lower back being a big open green pasture. Going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take it down. Well done. So we're coming off of the wrists, Bring yourself up. Feel those glutes assist you. Keep on finding the glutes here in this kneeling position. Really feel it switch on. We're going to take our band out in front. Okay, palms facing down if you like. And managing the resistance on the band, just watch the rib cage. Don't let it flare. Hug baby in. Just going to give myself a bit more space. And we're going to pull and back. So as you pull, think about your belly lifting off the pelvic floor, ribs lifting off the belly, collarbones smiling the whole way through. Neck long, chin tucked, ribs down. Shoulder blades draw together towards the spine. Shoulder blades draw away. 4. Head is floating. Ribs are floating, but not flaring. 2. And 1. And close. Well done. Good job. So if you notice, we're going kind of push, pull with the shoulder. Okay, so again, back into kneeling. From here, again, find your neutral. So lower back is definitely not a dip in the road. It's a nice long highway. Okay, stretch your left leg back again. Press the floor away again. And then lift up the left leg. Think about squeezing a newspaper underneath your armpits just to feel that pinky finger press into the floor. Reach your opposite arm, right arm long. Good. And then keeping the spine long, bring the hand to the knee, knee to the hand. Make sure that as you draw the hand in towards the knee, you are not letting your right hip pull behind your right knee. Okay? So don't let your bum come back as your knee comes into the hand. 5. So with all of these things, you should feel your core work. Just to manage your energy. If it feels like 2 or 3 reps is enough, then you stop. Take a break. Last one. And then place your hand down. Place your knee down. Well done. We're coming over to the other side. All right, straight over. Find your spine. Get that lower back feeling long. Okay. Reach the right leg back. Keeping your center. Squeeze imaginary newspapers under each armpit. Press the pinky fingers into the hand. Keep the right hand on the mat. Reach the left arm long. And then lift the right leg up. Nice. Keeping that feeling of being perfectly balanced on the wrist and the knee, and the shin and the foot. Going for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1, and place it back down. Now go ahead and take a shell stretch. Okay, that was hard work. So tuck round into the lower back and take a shell. Allow the elbows to relax. Breathe down into the lower back. Breathe into the back of your ribs. Letting the tip of the sacrum, the tailbone, relax. Last big breath here. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Well done. Okay, guys, so last little bit of work is going to be focusing a little bit more on opening up the side of the body. So We're going to focus a little bit more on that in the next month as well, but just a bit of time spent opening up the sides. So let's grab a hold of our blocks or whatever you have to kneel or sit onto. Again, if you want to sit cross-legged, that's fine. Even with legs stretched out straight, you're welcome to do that. Okay, so from here, you're going to place your left hand onto the ground alongside you. And as you do that, you want to try and feel as much equality as possible through the pelvis, although the pelvis is slightly elevated from the floor. So there might be a little bit of a lift, but you want to keep heavy on the opposite side. Draw the left shoulder blade down, but think about rotating ever so slightly up towards the sky. Okay, and then reach your free arm up and open up the side. Adjusting the bottom hand if you feel like you need more space. So you might feel like your hand needs to go a little bit further forward, and using that push into the floor, you can open up the ribs a little bit more and you can straighten out the elbow. Again, if your neck feels a little bit uncomfortable here, you can always let your chin relax down. Or look down towards the mat if you feel like you need that. Good. Ideally keeping the head in neutral, just for the spinal alignment. And then slowly come back out of it. Shake it out. And then we go to the other side. So right hand down, right shoulder blade, right elbow, left sit bone stays as anchored as possible. And then just watch that you're not hiking up the right shoulder to the right ear. Just try and draw it, like scoop the elbow under, drawing the shoulder blade down, press the floor away. Again, just feeling if you need to make any adjustments with your neck. Really opening up, maybe straightening out the elbow. Twisting ever so slightly to the ceiling. And then slowly bring yourself out of it. Good job. Shake it out. Maybe just take a moment here. If you feel like you need to get a drink of water, then please do, or a cup of tea. I'm going to take a sip. All right, great, guys. So let's get rid of the blocks. And we're going to come into 90-90 with the left shin out in front. Well done. From here, left hand comes down. You're staying lifted out of the left shoulder, and you're going to reach up and come into this beautiful side bend. And you use your bottom elbow to assist you. Reach a little bit deeper through the top arm. Breathe deeply into the right side of the rib cage. Nice. Now really gently, just feeling it out, you're going to start to kind of wave towards the ground. So start to spiral your body towards the ground. You're probably not going to touch the fingers to the floor. Don't force it. Push away through that left elbow. Breathe into the back of that right shoulder blade. Good, and then push down into the floor through the left arm to open back out of it, and then come back up. Well done. Now, depending on how your back knee feels, you're going to either grab a hold of the leg or you're going to gently place your hand on the ground. Now, I don't want to compress into this side. I want to imagine I'm going up and then over something. So over, not down. All right, up and over to the opposite side. And then you might be able to take that left arm with you. And then encourage your right sit bone down into the floor. Good. Almost looking underneath the left armpit. Reach up a little bit more through the right arm, to the left arm, sorry, top arm. And then relax the left shoulder down, or at least scoop that left shoulder blade down and under the armpit. Good. And then when you come out, lengthen. Good. And pop the hand down. Well done. Great. All right, so from here, we're going to go straight over to the other side. So let's literally take our right shin out in front, left shin back behind. Just take a moment here. Okay. Right hand on the ground. Drawing or scooping that right shoulder blade down and forward. Okay. And then I'm going to bend into my right elbow and side bend here. So push the floor away through the bottom elbow. If you feel like that's not possible, it's probably because your elbows may be a little bit too far back or too far forward. So think about the shoulder and elbow positioning, and then use that to push the ground forward and away, and then come up and over. And then relax your cheeks, your jaw. Straighten out the elbow. Let's take 2 more big breaths here. And then we're going to rotate in one big chunk. It's not my arm coming towards the ground. My arm is frozen in space next to my head. And then I'm going to rotate. And remember, we might not touch the ground with our fingertips here. So we're pushing the floor away through the right elbow. And we're reaching the left arm up and forward, rotating as much as you feel happy with. Breathing into the back of the body. And then bring yourself up slowly. Take a moment. Now, depending on how your hips feel, it might be a little bit uncomfortable to go this way, and also for the knee. So just listening to the knee, maybe holding on with the left hand, lengthen up, and you're going to make sure you're not compressing down, but you're going to come up and over. Yeah, up and over, and then side bend. Breathing here, and using your left hand, you can push the floor forward and down. Depends on how much traction you have on your mat, and use that to open up the ribs. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and then slowly come out of it. Good job. Shake it out. Amazing. So from here, we're going to come into a proper mermaid, or kind of a higher kneeling mermaid position, and then you are all done. Okay. So last little bit of work. We're coming into a side kneeling position. Now, this can be really confusing for some people, but just make sure that your hand isn't in front of your knee. Your hand is beside your knee, okay? There's a straight line from the hand. Draw the line you'll hit the knee, draw a line, boops, you'll hit your foot, okay? And then reach it up and over. Nice, you're back in the side bend. Remember, you're scooping that bottom shoulder blade down and under the armpit. Reach to the top arm. Very nice. Take one more breath here. Very nice. And then we're actually going to take our hand onto our hip. Good. Feel it. Keep it in place there. Don't let it move. And then you're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Good. So as you lift, I don't want you to worry about going too high. So don't let that happen, okay? You're pressing that left glute forward. And even if by doing that your leg lift is smaller, I'd rather you try and find that area of work, okay? You'll work harder, but your movement is actually smaller. 6. Good. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Feel if you can hold it up. Good. And then you're going to try and keep the knee at that height and then bend and straighten. Bend, straighten. Bend, straighten. Bend, straighten. Let's go for 6. Reach. 5. Reach. 4. Reach. 3. You can do it. Reach. 2. Reach. Last one. And reach and take it down. Great job. Whoo, whoo, whoo. So whenever you do that side kneeling stuff, it's super normal for the stabilizing hip to burn more than the leg that's doing the work. Okay? That's pretty common. So from here, coming over to the other side, remember your line. And then scoop your shoulder blade underneath the armpits. And don't sink down into that shoulder joint. So push the floor away. Reach the top arm up and over. Just make sure that you're not pushing your ribs forward and extending back. Think about a nice line from ribs transitioning down into your tummy. Just breathing here, reaching up through the top arm, pressing down into that left heel. Last 2 breaths here. And then you're going to take your left hand onto your waist. All right. And then from here, guys, just make sure your bum doesn't pull back on you. You're pressing it forward. So you can literally feel the hip within the socket. Your hip isn't drawing forward or back. It's literally stacked on top of the knee. And you're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Good. Nice. From here. So remember again, we're not worrying about height, but think about pelvic stability here. A little bit of abdominal control, definitely. Going for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Keep it up if you can. And we're going to bend, extend, bend, extend. Good. Bend, extend. Let's go for 6, 5. Keep pressing down into the floor with that hand, with the shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. and then slowly come out of it. Well done. Shake it out. Now, ending with a very gentle stretch. If you want to grab your blocks and use them for support, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we'll be here very briefly. So I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to just kind of rest my fingertips between that little crease in my legs just to anchor them down. When it comes to neck stretches, you want to be really frugal. So take it really easy. Think about very gentle. Don't push into anything because you don't want to wake up tomorrow with a sore neck. Okay, so just slowly take right ear towards right shoulder, and then gently let the chin draw down towards the chest. And you might feel a pull in the back of your neck, maybe going down into the back of the shoulder, into the shoulder blade. Relaxing the shoulder. Relaxing your cheeks and your jaw. Slowly come back up as if it was no effort at all to lift the head. Lengthen. Good. Left ear, left shoulder. And just watch for hiking up of the shoulder to the same side. Just noticing any differences you might feel. You're welcome to stay with the side bend if that feels really beneficial. And then you could bring your chin down towards your chest. If that doesn't add anything, you're welcome to come back to just the side bend. Again, just think about everything relaxing down. We're not hiking the shoulders up. We're not trying to elevate the rib cage. We're letting the rib cage really just drop down. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Well done. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Well done on completing the workout. So from here on out, we're going to be focusing next week on side bending. So a little bit more of that weight bearing on the side, strengthening into the hips, and just basically opening up the areas that might need to be opened up and getting strong in the process.